Hello and welcome everybody, this is Hadi and let's get through the basic and complex controls for movement and combat in the modded version of Hidden and Dangerous Deluxe. In this video we're gonna learn how to control each soldier directly and navigate around safely behind enemy lines, and how to execute attacks properly on the enemies while minimizing chances of getting hit. As it's now a 25 years old tactical shooter, the gameplay mechanics might need a little bit of practice. So here we can see the transport plane carrying our team got shot down and they had to drop by parachutes into an enemy controlled territory. So let's see how we can deal with that. First of all, we pause the game and pull up our tactical map, as our team members are scattered apart in a dangerous area. You can study the topography of the place in terms of plain lands, hills, depressions, roads, dense forests, and so far. Find the green circles representing the locations of our soldiers. As we can see, they dropped over different sites around the road. Two of them dropped into the dense woods, one over a grassy hill and one over a swamp. It's important to take a mental note of locations of enemy weapon posts. There's a machine gun overlooking the mouth between the rocks, guard tower, heavy artillery, armored vehicle, and enemy roadblocks with machine gun. The safest way here is to bring all team members into prone position. Alright, we can switch between the direct control of each soldier using the numbers 1, 2, 3 and 4. Here's number 2, is close to the road. Okay, we now detected enemy patrols over the road. Be careful. Alright, he's under fire now, so always be prepared to pull back and look for cover in case you feel detected by the enemy. Let's switch to our sniper number 3, covered behind the tree and bushes, and look at the site of the enemy patrols. We can't find anyone yet. We can zoom in using the sniper scope. In that case, we can check our tactical map, which can show the location of enemies. There is one dead infantry, probably killed by our teammate or a partisan. And that bright red circle indicates a live enemy. So let's look at his general direction. And here we go, we found him. Missed. It's better not to rush and avoid alerting the enemy to surprise them. So focus. Aim at the neck and shoot quickly before they shoot back. You need to practice quick reaction. In the real time, it's important also to study the geography of the area around in order to decide which is the safest path for advancing. And we can utilize also the camera angles and zoom levels in the third-person view in order not to miss anything hidden. Also, we can look freely around in the first-person view. The crouched position is usually used for fast movement and relatively safe progression in the open countryside. We can advance safely close to the steep cliff and head for the high ground and use its slope for cover and reconnaissance. Move slowly and carefully before the hilltop and get a bird's eye view of the area ahead using the third-person view. Switch to the binoculars frequently to examine the areas in the distance. In the modded version of the game, the zooming feature has improved, so we can now change the zoom levels through right mouse clicks. Alright, now let's get through the basic movement controls. We can change the troop posture, moving the mouse wheel. We can stand and move forwards, backwards, and strafe left and right using the arrow keys. We can do the same movements while in crouching position. Strafe slowly left and right and move forwards and backwards. We can do the same while crawling. Although movement in the crawling position has the slowest rate of progress, it has the safest way of protection against enemy fire, and it's ideal for reconnaissance. Now let's move faster. Stand up, hold the shift key, and strafe quickly left and right. Move forwards for a run. Upright position gives the fastest run, and it's usually used indoors or for fast crossing of short distances. Now move for that cover behind the tree logs. You can change the posture according to the height of the obstacle. Now hold shift and do a side roll right and left. We can do the same while in crawling position. Hold the shift key and do the side roll right and left. This combination of movements is useful for baiting or hit and fade tactics. For a stealth movement, stand up and press the Alt key and move forwards. It's a very slow movement, but it can be toggled in the modded version. For some reason, movement sideways while crouching doesn't make any sound as well. Press X by default to jump over obstacles. It can be used also to jump over gaps between the rooftops. Press forwards against obstacles to scale wreckages or steep cliffs and get to the top. Now let's learn how to bait on enemies around corners using the side roll combination. If you got too close to the corner and the estimated distance for a side roll is roughly 2 meters, you'll end up exposing yourself to enemies for a long distance and duration with a high risk of getting hit. So it's better to give enough distance for cover before doing a side roll and only expose yourself for a brief period. Let's use the side roll tactic to ambush an enemy who is facing our direction. To begin with, we project an imaginary line of fire from the estimated endpoint of the side roll. If our starting position is incorrect in relation to that line, we may end up aiming away from the target with a very little chance to adjust before the enemy can react. The enemy reaction in this game is really fast. So from the start, rotate yourself to bring the ancillary sight parallel to the anticipated line of fire. Perform side roll, and now the reticle is at the target. Repeat that on the left side. This is an example of wrong position. The reticle is far away. And this is how to do it correctly. Bring the ancillary sight parallel to the anticipated line, and we are aiming directly at him now. We can repeat that while crawling, but it's not recommended at short range. The same tactic in the first person. The easiest way of ambushing around the corners is through standing and strafing quickly right and left, but it's usually performed at short ranges. And of course, it's much better to move around and find the corners where you can ambush the enemies at their flanks. Okay, soldier, it's time for the shooting range practice. So those closed windows over there will be our targets. Press the left mouse click to fire. The camera up angle shows a clear view of the aiming line with the enemy target, while the direct forward camera can obscure distant enemies, so it's only useful at short range. Now let's try the first person weapon view. We're firing the M1 Thompson. We can switch between weapon and iron sight views simply by right mouse clicks. Don't forget to press R for reloading while under cover. Now let's switch to the Lanchester submachine gun. Each submachine gun has its different weight, recoil, dispersion, rate of fire, range of effective fire, and number of rounds in the magazine. We can also shoot machine guns while running, but it's useful in small occasions. What's more useful is fast strafing right and left while firing, so we keep on target while dodging enemy fire. And now the Colt 1911 handgun. The disadvantage of handgun is that it needs 2 clicks to shoot, one for aiming and one for firing, so it's usually suitable for defense. And make sure you spam the left clicks for high rate of fire and guaranteed kills. Now let's practice firing the bolt-action rifle at long range and use the tree trunk for cover. We're now trying the Lee Enfield. It's better to switch to first person while firing these weapons. And make sure your fingers are ready over shift with left and right keys. So you strafe, shoot, then strafe back for cover. We can get more precise aiming through the iron sight view. Now let's try another way for cover, the hill slope. Also make sure your fingers are ready on the up and down keys. So advance, shoot, then retreat. Advance, shoot, then retreat back. And now let's get more far and try the sniper rifle. Click the right mouse button to change the zoom levels and aim at the center of the target. In case you detect an enemy behind an obstacle, be careful while you strafe or shimmy sideways, so make sure your aim is directly over the target, as usually there's no time for adjusting your aim. The light machine guns are best fired while in prone position and from strategic defensive spots unexpected by the enemies. High positions are the best, of course. Now we practice firing the brain gun in different sights. The damage output of LMGs is high, so we can use these weapons to mow down groups of attacking infantry. To use a hand grenade, pull the pin and hold the left mouse button to adjust the strength or the distance of the throw into the desired area. The safe distance should be beyond 50% of throw strength. Let's try the low grenade throw into rooms or small buildings to clear them up. Hold the shift button with the left mouse click, toss the grenade and make sure you run away and your teammates are away from the blast zone. One more time, this is how we strafe around corners to ambush sentries inside rooms using different camera views. To search bodies, press the U button by default and press the enter to take items. And that's essentially it. Alright, let's bring all you have learned into the real action and finish the mission. We can advance here in this depression and among the dense woods, so we are well protected. Slow down before the ledge. Okay, the area beyond is unknown, so we can crawl slowly and carefully to check the area. We can see another hill over there. Let's scan using the binoculars. There is a suspected area at those rocks. Potential enemies can hide beyond. This is a safe path to move along. We have a steep rocky cliff to the left and the hill slope is covering us already on the right. Okay, zooming out here we can detect an enemy infantry crouching beyond that rock, waiting to surprise us. Let's approach him carefully and ambush him. Now crouch, fire, now crawl for cover. Now we are safe to get to these rocks and check the area behind. We can see a small cottage or barn far ahead. Let's check the flank if there are any enemy counter attacks over the road. And there is an enemy at the tree log over there. The side roll baiting seems not working on him. And the problem of this rock is that it has an invisible collision around it. So let's use another maneuver using the hill slope. Be careful around the edge. Make sure your aim is over the target once you show up. And now I've made a big mistake reloading while exposed, which makes me a second duck. So always don't forget to reload your weapon while you are well covered. Eventually we managed to take him down. Moving along the wall, slowly, and check carefully around the corner for hidden enemies. Clear. Now take cover behind the tree logs. According to our information from the tactical map, we know that there is an enemy roadblock with machine gun post at the intersection ahead. We can also see a patrolling guard on the side road. Let's try to get him with the rifle. Be ready for the sequence to scroll the mouse wheel up, then aim and shoot, then scroll back down. So show up, aim, then get down quickly. We are now safe from the return fire by the machine gun. Let's give it another try. Wait for him to get closer. Now stand, aim, get down quickly. That's why it's highly risky to stay for too long trying to adjust the aim, which resulted in our soldier getting severely injured. So let's change our plan and get rid of that machine gun operator first, who is the biggest threat at the moment. The same maneuver, we can make trials and fine-tune until we make sure the iron sight is directly over the target once you show up. And that's it, one shot kill. Two more men are on site, patrolling the main road. We can take care of them the same way. So get up, aim, shoot, get down, the other one, shoot, miss, get down quickly, wait for his return fire, up, and we get him. Reload. Back to the patrol on the side road. He's at closer range and the trees are getting on the way, so we can fire at him with the 10 submachine gun. Up. He's down. And roll back for cover. Now let's give our sniper some work to do and hunt for that deadly machine gun overlooking the mouth between the hills. It's one of the most dangerous encounters as the machine gun is directly facing us. So we can use this obstacle in the line of fire for cover. It's better to zoom out and get some distance from the obstacle so it will not obscure our scope view. Now we can repeatedly stand and crouch while adjusting the aim on the target. Direct hit on the head. If you waited for one more second, you would be probably dead. Guard towers are great spots for sniping, but before that you must make sure that the area is secure and he is safe to climb. Let's try to snipe the enemy sharpshooter on the other guard tower ahead. We can't get a direct aim at him. You can only see his rifle. Let's try to get him from another angle. Still he is hidden behind the box. Let's get closer and use the tree trunks for cover. He's not showing up yet. At this point the sniper rifle is not that useful, so we can switch to the handgun. Now we are safe from his fire directly below him. We can now stand and move quickly around, then spam the trigger once we see his head. Okay, we got him. Alright, there's another guard on a tower behind that sloping hill. You need to crawl sideways, step by step, while keeping your aim focused close to that edge, until you just see his head and shoot immediately. Okay, missed. It seems we scared him, so we can just stay focused until he shows his head up. Some high vehicles like this Opel truck can allow us to take a sneak peek beneath it and look for anybody standing behind, so we can shoot at their legs. Okay, it's time to practice stealth. If the man we are controlling has a high stealth capability, means that he can remain undetected or heard by the enemies at shorter ranges. Now we switch to the stealth mode of movement. The movement is unnecessarily slow and has improved in hidden dangers too. Once you reach him, aim at his neck. As I said, we can keep also silent while moving sideways in the crouching position. This time let's practice sniping on moving targets. In that case, you need to lead your shot ahead. The lesser angled aim at the target's line of path gives better chance to hit it. It's more difficult to aim perpendicular at a moving target. In that case, you need to lead your aim further ahead. And this differs according to the distance and speed of the target. This is a good opportunity to perform the side roll ambush on the sentry standing at this guard post. Slowly and carefully get to the corner. Line up your aim to make it parallel to the projected line of fire. Ready? Now hold the shift key. Now side roll, fire, roll back and go for cover. And we successfully made it. Another cool feature added in this mod is that we can switch to semi-auto mode of firing the submachine guns by hitting the H button. And get down. You see here, we are well covered and saved from a return fire coming from a hidden source. We can now retreat, rinse, then come back for scouting to evaluate the situation. As we can see, enemies are located at different directions, at the north and east. So it's risky to advance here directly in this path. We need to move around and change our approach along a safer route. And now we brought enemy locations to one direction in relation to us. We can see him now clearly. A well camouflaged enemy guard crouching by the fallen trees. We are flanking him right now, fortunately. The semi-auto mode of a submachine gun gives a little longer range and better accuracy. Now let's use the impact grenade to take down the patrols ahead. Impact grenades are best used to defend ourselves against rushing enemies while under cover. Now keep covered and wait for them to turn around. Then try to land the grenade between them. And here we go, both are dead. And finally, let's practice how to approach a heavy vehicle and take it down with a rocket launcher. The safest way is to get to a secure area overlooking the rear or the sides of the vehicle. Higher grounds are preferred. This time we're trying the M1 bazooka. It needs 2 left mouse clicks to fire. 1 click to hold the weapon over the shoulder and another click to fire. And that's all. I hope we have covered most individual movement and combat tactics in this video. If you have any thoughts about these tactics, or you have any suggestions or new tactics, please let me know in the comments down below. In the next video we're going to explain how to play as a team, so until I see you next time, take care and goodbye.